Hi, my name is Ruth Bushman. This is Caliente Hot Glass. We were founded in 2009 by Ralph Labordi, and Glenn Andrews is our resident artist. We focus on the studio being an art studio over a production shop, so every time we touch the glass, it is a singular moment. The individual experience of the artist creating the glass is one of the most important things here, and we're honored to share it with you. We expanded the studio to include this modest gallery in 2015 and have been running it as a full-time operation since then. I run the day-to-day business operations of this. We are an independent artist studio, so the artists have full creative autonomy over what they make and when they make it. We're an independent glass studio. That didn't really exist until the late 1960s, even though glass blowing is over 2,000 years old. Prior to the studio glass movement, it was large institutions or generations of artists in a family creating glass. And because of the studio glass movement, which was found, many people know Chihuly, and so he is a large reason why we are able to be independent. And that is really one of the things that we enjoy the most, is the freedom and the curiosity and the journey of blowing glass. And so each artist approaches the glass in their own way. And we strive to act as a vessel to allow them to do so.
So the studio started as a collective of a lot of different doctors, lawyers, and businessmen that can afford it as a hobby. And a fellow I used to give lessons to 20 years ago had a space and had the wherewithal to be able to create a hobbyist space. And it existed like that for several years, but it was too small and too dangerous to invite people into because it was such a tight space. And then after 5 or 6 years, then we started expanding out and inviting other people in. And then at that point, he gave me the option to take over and run the space. And so it's pretty unheard of for someone to build this much infrastructure and then pass it off to someone else and let them have creative autonomy over the space. But it's been it's pretty amazing sort of scenario that I got to walk into, and then to have all of my own autonomy and creative inspiration regarded is something that I really can't. I'm still not over it. It's a beautiful thing.
Decide I want glass in my life when I come to glass, but I'm always kind of like forcing it and like trying to control it and make it do what I want. And it just all came out kind of contrived. And then slowly but surely I realized like that my purpose isn't to control it and to make it do anything. My purpose is to try and listen to it and understand it and develop a relationship. Because I noticed all the old timers always making work, and they would make it look so easy. Just like they're making a ham sandwich and just genuinely casually talking, and beautiful forms just manifesting in front of this old man. And I'm like, how do you make it look so easy? And they always said, well, it's easy when you don't try. I thought, well, that doesn't really like help me understand how to get there, until I finally had that epiphany. And then I thought, oh, because they're not trying, they're giving it what it needs, and then it wants to become that thing, and they're treating it a certain way, and it wants to become the thing they're trying to get to. They're not forcing it into that thing. And then I started to understand that it's a relationship, not a master-servant thing. Once I started to get there, then it started to give away grace and beauty. And then people look at the work and they go, oh, you're so talented. And I'm like, I'm not talented, I'm its custodian. I just figured out how to love it. And then it's this beautiful thing that will manifest this way if you just love it the right way. And that was one of my biggest challenges, was trying to get out of my own way and let it be what it naturally is, which is gorgeous and graceful and beautiful, without trying to like harness it, without holding on too tight. You know, the harder you hold on to it, the worse it gets, and the clunkier and the more angular the curves are, and the worse things would start to fall apart. But that was one of my biggest lessons, was getting out of my own way and learning that I needed to just figure out how to love it instead of learning how to control it. And that was a large contrast for me.